Every relationship is transactional. Whether it's a business relationship, a friendship, relationship with your family, relationship with your dog, a romantic relationship, every relationship is transactional. Let me explain. I know that in today's society, to say that any relationship is transactional implies that there's no love. We assume that this relationship is purely self-centered. Either one person's using the other person, or they're both using each other. I want to challenge this idea. I'm going to argue that not only is every relationship transactional, but also this transactional element is the key to truly love someone. We'll talk about love in another video. I'm just gonna focus on the transactional element in this video. Since the word transaction has such negative connotation, let's re-examine this concept. At its essence, a transaction is nothing more than an exchange, which means that each person provides something and each person receives something. What makes for a good transaction or a bad transaction is whether that something you provide or receive is of value. And values are based on a person's needs and wants. To truly value something, you have to need it or want it. Keep in mind that you can still see the value in something without actually valuing it. For example, during the time of war, a diamond has no value, but a can of food is very valuable because of need. If a woman wants to be financially taken care of, that's her need. Then it doesn't matter if you're the most amazing guy in the world. If you don't have money, she will not value you. So you can see the value in something without actually valuing it. To truly value something, you have to need it or want it. Most people are not really aware of this transactional element in their relationships. It's subconscious. Even if they are aware of it, oftentimes they suppress or deny that it even exists because of cultural guilt and shame they feel for having this transactional element in their relationships. However, not realizing this transactional element in your relationship can be detrimental because, number one, if you have no idea of what you can actually provide in a relationship or what you need and want, then it's impossible for you to find the right partner. Imagine you're applying for a job, but you have no idea what it is that you have to offer to that company. On top of that, you also don't know what it is that you need or want from that company. That makes it impossible for you to find the right company to work for. Number two, everybody has their needs and wants. But when a person does not know what it is that they want or need in a relationship, how do they get their needs met? By manipulation. This is human psychology. In order to get your needs met, you might manipulate people, intentionally or unintentionally. For example, lying, being passive-aggressive, using guilt to get what you want, shifting blame, playing the victim, constantly criticizing the other person, gaslighting the other person. Again, nobody likes to admit that they're being manipulative, but this is very common. If you're not aware of what it is that you want or need in a relationship, then you might get those needs through manipulation, and you might not realize that you're doing it. Number three, if this transaction is not conscious, you don't know what it is that you want or need. You don't know what it is that the other person wants or needs. Then the best you can do is to assume, why are they in a relationship with you? Why are you in a relationship with them? And let's be honest here. When you assume something, you can be way off. And because of this, you might end up so confused and hurt when somebody who you thought you loved so much certainly wants to end the relationship. And the reason for this is because you don't know those wants and needs that made them get into a relationship with you in the first place. You see, every relationship you get into, you do it because you see that relationship meets some of your needs and wants. I want you to know that there's nothing wrong with having a transactional element in your relationship. In fact, I want you to consciously acknowledge this transactional element. When you are in a relationship, if your partner does not meet your needs and wants, then it's impossible for you to value that relationship. And vice versa, if you cannot meet your partner's needs and wants, they will not value that relationship, even if they see the value in you. So the best way of ensuring that you can bring values to a relationship is to consciously find someone that you can meet their needs and wants. That's the only way that they can value the relationship with you. This is why it's not really a good idea to enter into a relationship where you're not being authentic. You know how people say, you should go on that date, put your best foot forward. What they're essentially saying is that be your best self on that date, right? But this is not good advice because when you are in a relationship, you're not always your best self. So if you put your best foot forward, you be your best self on that date, you are selling a false image of who you are. Because what happens after that date? Are you going to be your best self every single day? No. So you're lying to that person. Might as well disguise your whole personality. Pretend to be who they want you to be. Tell them what they want to hear. Doing things they want you to do. That way you can get them to commit to you, right? You see it all the time. Say you meet somebody for the first time and they're everything that you want in a partner. But then after marriage, after having kids, or a few months into the relationship, certainly they become a completely different person. They get lazy. They don't want to improve themselves. They're no longer sweet and kind. They're no longer respectful. But the truth is, they were never like that in the first place. They were just acting a certain different way to try to secure a commitment from you. And you don't want to fall for this because there's a huge financial and emotional consequences if you do. You see, this dynamic completely destroys the transactional element in the relationship. It's like false advertisement. They're selling you an idea of a person that's not who they are. A person is always in a relationship because they're getting their needs met. By being conscious in this transactional element, you know exactly what your partner needs and wants. Your partner knows exactly what you need and want. This way you have a lot more control over the relationship, and when satisfaction level starts to drop, you will know exactly why because you'll be able to take a step back and analyze it. Okay, I know that this is what my partner needs and wants. Am I meeting their needs and wants? If the answer is no, then you can try to fix the relationship by meeting their needs, or you can choose not to do that, and you can expect your partner to want to end the relationship at some point, or to change the relationship dynamic even if they don't want to. It's worth mentioning that when you have a conversation with your partner about this transactional element in your relationship, it's a good idea to look at the potential scenarios that might prevent either you or your partner or both from meeting the needs of the other person, and talk to your partner about what you're willing to do should you end up in that situation. Now, keep in mind that in certain situations, you might not be able to meet your partner's needs even if you want to. For example, let's say you're a Catholic and you don't believe in sex before marriage, but your partner is a free spirit. They don't believe in getting married without having sex first. In this scenario, because of your religious belief, even if you want to, you cannot meet your partner's needs without compromising your own needs. But here's a good thing. By understanding this concept that all relationships are transactional, you can stop taking it personally. When your partner becomes unhappy or unsatisfied and they want to end the relationship, it might not be you or your values. It might not even be the fact that they still love you and they still care about you. It might simply be the fact that they are not getting their needs met. Alright, that's all for this video. Remember to be consciously transactional in your relationships. Questions or comments, leave it down below. Until next time, stay curious.